Everyone in your family should have their own emergency go bag or go kit that contains 72 hours worth of essential supplies. Both during and after an emergency, you and your family may need to survive on your own for several days. Being prepared means having your own food, water, and other supplies to support your survival. A go kit is a collection of basic items you may need in the event of an emergency that requires you to evacuate your location. This is why we call it a go kit, because you need to be able to grab it and go. These are supplies that may be needed when, for example, an earthquake strikes, or an emergency evacuation is ordered for a wildfire or a flood or maybe some type of chemical spill, just to name a few. You need to personalize these kits and keep them where they can easily be reached, at home, in the car, at work, or school. Today we are showing you items essential to include in a generic or basic adult go kit. As every person in the family may have different needs, we will discuss some additional items that should be considered for inclusion in the kit. A go kit could be a plastic tub, a duffel bag, or in this case a backpack, which might be easier to carry for some family members. Let's take a look at each item in this basic backpack go kit. There really isn't one best way to pack a kit, so please understand we are not packing this bag today in any order of priority, but we would like to put the larger bulky items first. You might also consider putting small important items in these smaller outer pockets. Pack it so it makes sense to you. Let's begin with clothing. Ready.gov recommends a complete change of clothing and a sturdy pair of shoes. Beyond this, we recommend a couple sets of tops and bottoms, along with multiple pairs of socks and underwear. Shoes, being rather bulky, may or may not fit in the go bag itself, but similar to a warm winter coat in a cold climate, you should bring them along anyway. Other clothes to consider are actually accessories like hats and gloves. Keeping the clothing in waterproof bags or large Ziploc bags will help prevent them from getting wet before they are worn. Remember to pack clothes appropriate for your environment. A map. Most of us carry a smartphone nowadays with its integrated maps and navigation. But what if the cell service is out or the phone is dead? Many people simply won't know how to function. A printed map is a must to guide you on your evacuation routes, to emergency centers, to rally or meeting points for your family that you've previously designated in the planning stage. The Go Stay Kit, otherwise known as the Ready Book, was created in Oregon by the Jackson and Josephine Counties Vulnerable Population Committee. We've created a video dedicated to filling out this important tool. This will contain information about you, your family, your pets, emergency phone numbers, information about medicines, important papers, ID bands and forms for emergency shelter personnel, and other important items. Its coated paper will provide some protection, but it still needs to be kept in something waterproof, like our waterproof bag. The waterproof document bag. This is for documents like passports, IDs, credit cards, cash, or your phone and thumb drives even. This bag has a reinforced zipper and then a Ziploc-style inner liner. The N95 masks. These will protect you from things like viruses, molds, and all types of contaminants like smoke from wildfires, dust, allergens, and many other types of particulates. Many of us are well aware how bad wildfire smoke can be, and these really help. If someone in the household has respiratory issues like asthma, or someone is immune compromised, these masks are critical. Hygiene kit. Good personal hygiene and hand washing are critical to help prevent the spread of illness and disease. Sanitation and hygiene become especially important during an emergency or natural disaster when finding clean, safe water could be difficult. This kit includes toothpaste, a toothbrush, soap, shampoo, shaving gel, a razor, comb, hand sanitizer, and a couple of masks. Here is a list of additional items you might want to include. Feel free to pause the video in order to write these down. Insect repellent, lotion, dental floss, sunscreen, Q-tips, lip balm, grooming scissors, deodorant, nail clippers, Gold Bond powder, towels, toilet paper, and baby wipes. Include additional items based on your family's needs. The emergency radio. This is a multi-function emergency radio that has AM and FM bands in addition to the weather band or the NOAA radio, which is a 24/7 radio broadcast that covers all types of hazards, and you can get emergency alerts on this as well. This radio is covered in detail in our emergency radio video, but just know that this also has a flashlight, an SOS alarm, and it can be charged by either a USB port or a hand crank or even a small solar panel on the top of the radio. Hand wipes. Because personal hygiene is so important, especially in an emergency situation, these hand wipes are very versatile and can also be used to clean your face and other body parts. Emergency sleeping bag. Lightweight Mylar space blankets, emergency sleeping bags, and tarps can be used in a variety of ways to protect you from the elements. Open and unfold the blanket and have the reflective side facing toward your body to help you retain heat. Because these are so versatile, it is a good idea to have more than one of these on hand. This one also comes with an emergency whistle. Safety work gloves. Now these thin nitrile-coated gloves give you a good grip, but they can also give you some protection on the fingers and palms against harsh chemicals and contaminants. Playing cards. These will provide something to do to pass the time. Consider other small toys and games to keep the kids entertained, and adults also. Emergency matches. These are in a waterproof container. There's a striker plate on the opposite end to light the matches. These particular matches are great at staying lit in damp and windy environments, and they have a 30-second burn time. A flashlight. Emergency light is very important, so we've dedicated an entire video to this topic where we cover emergency flashlights and lanterns, most of which are rechargeable. Some can even be charged by a hand crank or a small solar panel. The light that we've included in this kit is a small, lightweight LED flashlight with a reading lamp option. Turn the light on by pressing the switch at the back. The light beam narrows and widens by turning the front bezel of the flashlight either clockwise or counterclockwise. This one uses one AA battery, so you might want to include extra batteries in your Go kit. The multi-purpose tool. This particular tool has pliers, wire cutters, wire strippers, scissors, a can and bottle opener, knife blades, screwdrivers, along with a few other tools. Watch our video on survival tools where we take a closer look at this and other items to have in your survival toolkit. We even show you how to use some of the tools like emergency or camping can openers. A first aid kit. This basic kit contains some gauze pads, band-aids, antiseptic ointment, tweezers, and nitrile gloves. These first aid kits need to be customized based on each person's individual support needs. The American Red Cross suggests that a first aid kit for a family of 4 include the following items. Here again, you can pause the video at this point in order to write these down, and we'll also include a link. Disaster Deck. This is a quick reference tool to help guide your decision-making during various natural disasters. It includes life-saving tips and information to help you remain calm and survive these events. Water. We often use the formula of 1 gallon per person per day for 3 days to come up with the figure of 3 gallons that each person should have access to in emergency. Water is heavy and it takes a lot of space. Certainly most people won't be able to carry 3 gallons of water in their Go kit, so it's recommended that each person have at least 1 to 3 quarts of water on hand. One way to make up the difference, especially in a scenario that will last for several days, is to have a way of purifying or filtering water that comes from an unclean source. A personal water filter or water purification chemicals are really the next logical step to include, as they provide continued access to drinkable water. Please watch our video on getting informed about emergency water supply. Food. According to the survival rule of 3, you can go 3 weeks without food. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't include food in your Go kit. It should be lightweight, easy to prepare, and nutritious. Consider family members with special dietary needs when determining what to pack. These freeze-dried meals are an excellent option for your Go kits. Watch our video on getting informed about emergency food to learn more. You can also include things like nuts, trail mix, protein bars, and a variety of healthy snack items. We recommend putting loose items in Ziploc bags to avoid spilling and to keep things organized. Make sure to include some eating utensils like a fork and spoon. Here are some additional items that you may want to include in your Go kit based on individual needs. Prescription medications. Non-prescription medications such as pain relievers, anti-diarrhea medication, antacids, or laxatives. prescription eyeglasses and contact lens solution, extra batteries for medical devices like hearing aids, a sensory kit that contains things like hearing protection or sunglasses. Think about family members with sensory sensitivities. Infant formula, bottles, diapers, wipes, and diaper rash cream. Pet food and extra water for your pet. Cash or traveler's checks. If the power is out on a large scale, you won't be able to access funds from credit cards or banks. Important family documents such as copies of insurance policies, identification, and bank account records. These things are kept in the waterproof bag. A full sleeping bag or a warm blanket for each person. A fire extinguisher. Feminine supplies and personal hygiene items. A mess kit, paper cups, plates, paper towels, and plastic utensils. A paper and pencil. Trash bags. Books, games, puzzles, or other comfort activities for children and adults. You may want a backpack and a small duffel bag for each person so that you have room for things like clothing and blankets. After assembling your kit, remember to maintain it so it's ready when needed. Rethink your needs every year and update your kit as your family's needs change. Now that you have your kits together, where do you store them? Since you don't know where you'll be when an emergency happens, if possible, prepare supplies for home, work, school, and vehicles. At home, keep this kit in a designated place and have it ready in case you have to leave your home quickly. Make sure all family members know where the kits are kept. Make sure children understand not to play with these or remove any items so that they're ready to go in an emergency. Be prepared to shelter at work or school for at least 24 hours. These kits should include food, water, and other necessities like medicines, as well as comfortable walking shoes. And finally, in case you get stranded on the road, be sure to have a Go Kit in your vehicle. This wraps up the video on building an emergency Go Kit. We've created several informative videos about many of the items included here today in the event you need more details. Take action now so that you're prepared when an emergency happens.